Hi, Tom. You look tired today. Rough morning?
Hi, Kate. Oh, yes, very rough. My tram was so full, I thought I'd be stuck in a human sandwich forever. Someone had a backpack that was poking me the whole way, and I swear the guy next to me was breathing like a fog machine.
Oh, no. That sounds terrible. Was it worse than usual or just extra bad today?
Way worse. Usually I can find a little space to stand, but today, no chance. And of course, my stop came and went, so I had to shuffle to the next one. I must have looked like a penguin sliding around on ice.
That's a perfect image. At least you didn't have to drive, though. Driving in this weather is stressful, too.
True, but what about you? You were in your car, right?
Yes, comfortable, but traffic was a nightmare. I left home at 7:20 and didn't arrive until almost 8:15. Normally it takes me 35 minutes, and the worst part is just sitting there doing nothing. I was holding my coffee in one hand, steering with the other, and trying not to scream.
Yikes, where was the jam?
Near the city center, of course. Some construction, plus a minor accident, plus people who think honking will magically make the cars move faster. One guy in a bright green SUV kept honking at a cyclist who wasn't even in his lane.
Classic Warsaw. At least on the tram, you don't have to deal with aggressive drivers.
True, but you do get sardine syndrome. I think sometimes I'd rather sit in traffic than be pressed up against strangers for 20 minutes.
Fair enough. But I can scroll on my phone, listen to music, or read a book. You can't do that while driving.
That's true, but I get to sing as loudly as I want in the car. Nobody judges me. Except maybe the drivers next to me if I glance over and see them laughing.
Wait, are you saying other drivers watch you sing?
Maybe, or maybe they're silently judging. But in my car, I have control of the radio, temperature, seat, coffee, my own safe zone.
Comfort is important, but comfort comes at a cost. How's your wallet after all this fuel and parking?
Don't remind me. Fuel is ridiculous. And parking near work? Almost as stressful as the traffic. Today I drove around 15 minutes and then finally gave up, circling 3 blocks before finding a spot.
That's why I love public transport. I pay my monthly ticket and don't think about fuel, insurance, or parking. One simple payment, done.
How much is your ticket now?
Around 110 zloty for the first zone.
That's cheap compared to driving. My car probably eats that amount of fuel in a week.
Maybe your car needs a diet.
I wish it worked that way. Sometimes I even imagine my car saying, "More fuel, please," like a tiny robot pet.
That's a terrifying image.
And honestly, traffic sometimes makes me question why I even own a car.
But then in winter, you have it nice and warm. No standing outside freezing while waiting for a tram.
Exactly. Last winter, I was stuck almost 2 hours in traffic because of snow. 2 hours. And the guy behind me kept honking like it was my fault.
Wow, brutal. On the other hand, sometimes my tram stops because of frozen tracks or a signal problem. Then I end up walking a few stops in the cold.
At least your legs get exercise.
True. I call it tram fitness. Once I even ran to catch the last metro because I was late for a meeting. I looked like a superhero, minus the cape.
That's a good mental image.
You know, I once saw a guy riding a scooter in the tram because his metro stop was closed. He didn't know where else to go.
Wait, a scooter inside the tram?
Yes, people were squeezing past him and laughing. I think it was the funniest commute of my life.
That's amazing.
And then there was a lady bringing a giant inflatable unicorn on the tram.
What?
Yes, I swear it took up half the carriage. People were trying to avoid it while she was talking on the phone.
Public transport definitely has its entertainment.
Exactly. And it's eco-friendly too. Less pollution, less fuel.
I feel a little guilty sometimes driving alone every day.
Even using public transport once or twice a week helps.
Maybe I should try Park and Ride, drive part way and take the metro.
That's a great idea. Less traffic stress, no parking worries, and faster overall.
But I'll miss my singing time.
Maybe you can sing in the metro. I'm sure people would love it, or at least be surprised.
Oh no, I don't think anyone wants that.
Come on, it would brighten up the morning.
All right, maybe for one day, just to test it.
Deal. And if it works, I'll buy you coffee.
Now that's motivation.
So tomorrow, car or metro?
Probably car, but maybe next week I'll surprise you.
I'm ready for that, and I'll be your official metro guide.
Sounds like a plan, but you better not laugh if I feel like a sardine.
I promise. Mostly.
All right, let's get coffee before the cafe gets crowded like my tram this morning.
Perfect. Lead the way.
After you, guide of the Sardine Metro.
I accept the title.
And maybe next week, if I survive, I'll tell you even more crazy stories about drivers and weird passengers.
I'm looking forward to it. Bring on the chaos.